Hi, Lady C.
There you are, yes, hello.
To our listeners and viewers, it's my honor to welcome Lady C of Lady C Rangers. And I wanted to ask, first of all, how raid went tonight in Maniforge Omega.
Sure. We did with the. Let me try and rewind here and start all over again. We had agreed originally to do normal and stop at normal, but a lot of our raiders had a change of heart halfway through the season, so we ended up having a revote, and we decided to go ahead and proceed on to Heroic. Tonight, we did just the first 3 bosses on Heroic, and it went very well. I'm trying to think. We did, and of course, the first boss, the bot thing, we had like 1 wipe and then a kill. I think the only boss that gave us some difficulty was Lumathor, that goofy spider, not slash thick mix of creatures. We ended up, I think it took us about 3 tries to finally get it, and we actually got down to like our 2 tanks and a healer to actually take it down. So,
Wow.
but we did complete the first 3. So, you know, we're and our raid leader said next week he'll go and save the lockout, so that next week we'll start on Forge Master, Raz. Just move right along.
That's awesome. And there's plenty of time left in the season for progressing through the full Heroic raid.
I feel pretty confident this group will end up completing the whole raid. I don't know that I will get AOTC with them, because I'm also doing Heroic with Dungeon Dojo on Saturday evenings, and we are at Nexus King Salvador on that with that group, and we're closing in. I'm trying to think. I think we got Salvador down to around 15 to 20%, I want to say, last Saturday. So I think we'll kill him tomorrow night. I think we'll get a kill on him. And with any luck, we will be able to progress on to Dimensius for a little, at least for a little bit. So that's the hope.
Yes. Now, I wanted to also discuss with you the charity stream for honoring our friend
Sure.
SFF Corgi. I know a lot of people understand WoW. They know what WoW is, but they may not know what Legion Remix is. That's like a new limited mode that is part of the charity stream.
Right. Yes. If you remember, when we were doing Dragonflight, they had a remix season that was based off of Mists of Pandaria, and this is very similar to that. Only we're doing a redo of the Legion expansion instead of Mists of Pandaria. And the neat thing about remix is the best way that I can describe it, based off my experiences, is back in the day when we were first playing Dungeons and Dragons, we had certain dungeon masters that would play the game and give out ridiculous sums of loot for some of the nicest kills, and we would call these particular sessions Monty Hall dungeons. Like you'd go in and kill like 2 or 3 kobolds, and you have like you'd end up getting like this crazy mythic level artifact sword off of one of them, so something really insane like that. Remix isn't quite that insane, but it's, you do get that reward for little effort in Remixed, and the leveling is very fast. I have not gotten the character to level 80 yet, but I know of and have heard of people that have leveled a character from ground zero to 80 in like less than 24 hours time, just by grinding out dungeons and doing raids and all that kind of stuff. And then there's quests that you can do. There's like daily quests that you can do to accelerate the progression of leveling as well. It's lots of fun. It gives you an opportunity to go and play character races and classes that you would normally not care to try because of the time commitment that it takes to go and level a character all the way up to 80. Here, it's sure you can level a character up to level 80 in like the blink of an eye. And what we're going to be doing Sunday for our stream content is we're going to have all of our team players, including yourself, of course, level up Druid characters. Druid was the Corey's favorite class. So to honor her memory, we are going to be leveling up Druids in the Legion Remix format, and we're going to be taking donations to the shelter that she supported, which is Granny Rose's animal shelter located in Illinois.
That's awesome. And that'll be on Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yes. Yeah, we'll be starting at 12 noon. It's actually quite an early start for me because normally I'm an evening streamer and I like doing things like around 9-ish. But I wanted to do something special and put in a lot of hours so that we could raise as much money as possible for the shelter. So the plan, or at least the original intent, will be to go from noon until midnight. Now, I can't promise that because I'm in a well, but I certainly will do my best to go those full 12 hours. We'll also be having giveaways as well, with our big giveaway being a base copy of Midnight. And you don't have to be a guild member. You don't even have to be a stream follower to sign up. But you will need to have a Blizzard BattleNet account in North America or OC, as they like to say. We might be able to go and award prizes to people with EU accounts because of how Blizzard has that whole system set up.
Yes. And one of the things I liked about the shelter is that it's a no-kill shelter. And that's a
absolutely, yeah.
That a lot of people expect that in Corgi, the fact that she supported it shows that she's compassionate about animals.
Oh, very much. One of the biggest concerns after Corgi was admitted to the hospital was what was going to happen to Piston and Sparkplug, her two Corgi mixes, and they were her ex Mythe was very instrumental in reaching out and finding someone that was willing to go and rehome Sparkplug and Piston. So instead of going to a shelter, they went to a very loving home. And the last I heard was that they were adjusting very well as expected. So that was I believe that was achieved last Thursday. So, and then we lost Corey, of course, Friday morning. A lot of some of us would like to think that maybe her spirit lingered, just to make certain that Piston and Sparkplug would have a hug. And once that was accomplished, then she was ready to move on. So, but yeah, she cared very much about animals. I remember us having many conversations where she even said flat out that she loved animals a lot more than people in many instances. And the way things go these days, you can understand why.
Yeah. Lady C, I wonder if you would mind if I share some still photos I took from your stream when Ural and Scubus were showing the memorial they made for Corgi.
And of course, I would love for you to do that. Go right ahead.
So this is in Valheim then.
Yes. Yeah, this is one of the games that we've been playing on stream for a couple of years, and this is probably, along with, I think it's called 7 Days to Die or something like that. This is probably one of Scubus's and Ural's favorite games to play. It's a survival style video game. And it is themed around the Norse culture, of course, and the background for your characters is that you are like Norse warriors and you have died, and you have to prove yourself to Odin before you can enter Valhalla. So he puts you in, so he places you and the other players in this realm called Valheim, where you have to, level up your character and level up your skills and learn to survive and defeat all these monsters that are lurking about in the realm. And then supposedly, once you have defeated all the big bad guys, then Odin will drop down out of the skies and take you to Valhalla, and you're done. It's amazing that this is a game that's been basically in beta for several years now, and I think Scubus had told me recently that they are in the process of developing the final zone / boss for the game. So that'll be a very exciting announcement when they make that.
100%.
But this is the memorial that they made for Corey. This is the outside here, and you'll notice that they put a sign on the entrance titled "Wolf." And the reason why they chose that is because whenever Corgi would enter stream chat or voice chat, that was the first thing that she would say is "Wolf." So that's the connection there. You'll see this shot here. You'll see that there is. I didn't select it at the time, but you'll see that there's a wolf there. They did go and tame 2 wolves in the area, and they named one Piston and the other Sparkplug. So those are Piston and Sparkplug are there. Actually, you can see in the picture near the left-hand corner, there's a straw mat where with the sign for Sparkplug. So yeah, there you go. Also on the table, they have fresh hot breadsticks. The reference there was on their Friday night, during their Friday night D&D games. That's what they would sit down and that was the food that they would sit down and eat, and that their characters would consume before going into combat. Yeah, there's another shot of the breadsticks there, and one of the dogs. Hagatha's there in the bottom left-hand corner. That's Ural's character. That's Ural's main character, the most advanced one.
Beautiful and touching memorial. Thank you for narrating that.
Oh, certainly.
Lastly, Lady C, I was wondering if we could briefly just discuss the upcoming patch for 11.27.
Sure.
And you've
sure, would love to. Yeah, 11 point.
Right?
Yes. I made the leap, and that was one thing I could actually thank Corgi for, because what she did for my birthday, was give me $40 onto my Blizzard balance for a birthday present. So I just paid the difference and got the epic version of Midnight, which included beta access, which started this Tuesday, and I can honestly say, with the dabbling that I've done so far in housing, I've enjoyed it a lot. I mean, obviously, I have like my experiences in Valheim and Enshrouded to compare it to, and it's not as stripped down as those two games. I mean, like in Valheim and Enshrouded, for example, you have to gather like sticks and twigs and chop down trees to make lumber, just so you can make a building. Whereas in WoW, you can like walk up and claim an unclaimed plot of land, and poof, your house is there, or at least your base house is there, which is pretty much it's pretty much like basically like a one-room building. Although I have noticed that you can expand on it, like you can add rooms and all that kind of stuff. But you start out with what amounts to a little one-room bungalow, and you build on it from there. Pretty interesting stuff. I would like to go and mention too, 11.2.7 does give you housing early access, but only if you have already pre-ordered Midnight. If you have not pre-ordered Midnight, you will not have the early access to housing in 11.2.7. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, but it's going to be, on what I understand, it's supposed to be some kind of bridge between like real money and gain currency. And if that's how it plays out, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, like, a lot of the things that I've seen so far in beta, they have vendors in the game that you can buy things from. There's also items that decor is what they call it. There's decor that you can unlock, I believe, in various raids from back in the other expansions and stuff like that. And I like those ideas, but I'm really not a fan of this force deal thing. And just to go and give you an idea of where I stand on that in general, I'm not a fan of putting the trading tenders into tour bundles either. So I think the game currency should be kept as game currency, and I think it would be better if you do things in the game to earn that currency rather than have the capability of dropping real money to buy it. But that's just me.
Well, and then we can also look forward to the as it says, the prologue campaign is something that people will be able to play through in the 0.7 patch.
Oh yeah. The prologue campaign, and of course the wrap up of the War Within. It will be available. That'll be available to everybody, I think, regardless of whether you pre-purchased Midnight or not. The Lyriaking Elves campaign will be available, and of course, I'm going to be all over that, being that it's elves. I'm also looking forward to the Winds of Mysterious Fortune and Turbulent Time Waves as well. They did Turbulent Time Waves and Dragonflight, and that was, if I remember correctly, they were basically doing time walking for a period like every week. Like the way things work right now, we'll have like time walking, and then there'll be like a 3-week break, and then they'll have another time walking. Turbulent Time Ways, you have like a different time walking campaign like every week, one right after the other. They usually throw in, if I remember correctly, there's like a special mount or something akin to that you can earn for Turbulent Time Ways, which will be fun. And Winds of Mysterious Fortune typically is kind of paired up with that, and if I remember correctly, that gives you the ability to increase your experience and level much more quickly.
Yes, and we'll be seeing also Shadowlands time walking in 11.2.7. Necrotic Wake.
Oh, are they going to be releasing that? That'll be fun.
Yes, with Necrotic Wake, Spires, Plagfall, The Other Side, Halls of Atonement, and Sanguine Depths.
I loved the 2 Revendreth dungeons. They were fun. In fact, they had one just this past Mythic Plus season, I believe. I wasn't a big fan of Plaguefall. I just didn't like all the goo. But the other side with the final boss, which was, help me out, Tegan. Who was the final boss there? The god of death.
Oh.
The Loa of death.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I can't.
I stumped you too, didn't I?
But yeah, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Lua of Death. Well, Not Bomsamdi was the fun way.
Oh, yeah.
He was the fun one, but he wasn't the one that we faced in the other side.
Was his, like, shadow in the other side, or did he have, like, a vocal part? Because that sounds familiar.
He did. He did. Well, the thing was, he was kind of guiding us in the other side, because he wanted us to go and defeat the other Loa to begin with.
Oh, right.
So that he could take over the other guys, the other Loa's raid. And I can't, you know what? I can't find the name. Trying to find him now. That's crazy. I can't find him. But anyways, we know who we're talking about, right?
Yeah, we know who it is, but I can't put it. Is it Muzala?
That's it. It was Nuzada. That was the name of the Loa of Death, and Womsandi was trying to usurp him.
Right. It's all coming back now.
Yes, but the Muzala fight was always a pain in the ass for me because it's one of those fights, and it's actually there is a mechanic in the Dimensius fight which is very similar to that, because you have like that section of the fight where his left hand does something and his right hand does something, and then he does like an attack down the middle, and you have to adjust your camera back as far back as you can so that you can see what's coming at you.
Yeah.
And I remember doing that in Mythic, and it was such a pain in the ass because I would never get it right, and I would end up getting killed to that mechanic almost every time, and I would just go and hope the rest of my team could finish him off. But yeah, that would be neat. That would be neat seeing that as a time walking and see how that plays out, because Shadowlands was actually one of my more favorite expansions, not necessarily because of the content or the execution, but that was where I first really got into endgame content. I got really active in raiding with friends and doing mythic dungeons and getting KSM and stuff like that.
Yes. Same here. That's the expansion I started.
Yeah, I had actually started doing raids in, let me think, it was Legion, and then like the last raid that we did in Legion, where we had to go and kill we had to go and kill like the one I can't think of the name of the dude. But
the last boss of the raid.
Yeah. I can't think of what his name was either. I am horrible with names. If it was a number, I could spit it out on command. But with it being Here we go. And Taurus the Burning Throne was the raid. I just googled that. It's not like I actually remember. Ivan Boss as well. I had no idea it was that freaking big.
Wow.
Argus. Argus the Unmaker was the one that we killed at the very, very end.
Okay.
So, and that, I remember doing that. But then we got into BFA for a little bit, and I think I was okay with the first raid, but then when we went underwater and started doing all that stuff underwater and BFA, I kind of lost interest, and then I came back for Nyalotha, and I had lots of fun with Nyalotha. I loved that. I loved the corrupted weapons. They were kind of fun to play with because you got this amazing power, but at the same time, there would be some kind of a drawback, some kind of a curse associated with all that power. So I love that stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to 11.2.7 and coming up. Certainly encourage all my friends, if funds are there, get yourself a pre-order of Midnight so you can experience the housing. And of course, don't forget to go and check out the story and how we transition from the War Within into Midnight. That's going to be very interesting, I think.
Indeed. Well, Lady C, thank you so much for coming by. It's been nice to hear your thoughts on things, and we'll all look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
You betcha. I'll be looking forward to seeing you too, Taglin, and thank you for all your support in promoting the charity stream. I've been paying attention, and I see that you've been very active on socials, and you've also been promoting it here in your stream as well, and I thank you for all your efforts.